Just a short while ago, we had the 2022 Game Awards, and for the first time in history, we have 2 Game of the Year winners. I want to congratulate both Elden Ring and Bill Clinton for just being such amazing games, and for being able to so peacefully share the stage that night. I want to congratulate both of you. But enough about the awards. The Game Awards, it's not just about the awards, it's about the game reveals and the game announcements. We got Death Stranding to Haze to Tekken 8, Street Fighter 6, amazing AAA games such as Final Fantasy 16 and Diablo 4. Mario movie trailers, a new Crash game. It just goes on and on. There is not a single mediocre game revealed last night. What about Forspoken? Okay, fine. So technically, Forspoken wasn't revealed last night. There was a demo announced for it. The game is actually pretty decent, but of course you want to know why. But we need to start from the beginning. We need to start with the story. Yet the story is very confusing. It was very poorly explained in the demo, and through the trailer as well. Do you really want to watch those? Hello, I'm a talking bracelet.
I'm an overly snobby girl.
Dream Team! The thing is that that's partially true, and I'll get to that in a bit, but right now, the story is what I want to focus on and how confusing and weird it is. So the story is about this girl named Frey that gets isekai'd into this new world. Yes! It's an isekai! That's what it's been the whole time! This game's an isekai! First, we have the Mario movie being a brand new isekai. And now we have Forspoken. In all seriousness though, she does get transported into this magical world and finds out she has the ability to use magic. She also came to the world with a bracelet strapped to her arm, looking a lot like Sonic's rings. But yeah, like I said earlier, it talks, and is able to guide her on this adventure. And so now your journey is to find a way home while helping all the townspeople. That's a very basic rundown of the story that I got. I also left out a few possible spoiler topics, as I don't want to ruin it for anyone wanting to experience the story for themselves. What makes it so confusing and weird is how the character from New York assimilated so well into this new world. We don't know how she assimilated into the world yet because we just don't have the story. It would have been so much less confusing and more enjoyable if I was able to just go from the start, from the beginning of the game, but sadly we didn't get that, so whatever you're doing for the demo has no relation to the story. It doesn't actually get you invested and you just stop caring. It's not too big of a deal, but it is nice to have a little bit of investment in the story and be like, yeah, I want to play this. But speaking of investment, this demo is massive. I mean, there is a lot to do. There's a whole little chunk of the island. I'm not sure if this is a part of the world or not, but there is a lot to do, and I've already played about an hour and a half in it, and there's more for me to do. There's still more for me to do, and that's great. I like demos of this size, especially ones that have such good gameplay like this one. The gameplay consists of your average open world gameplay, where you do one objective to the next objective, and have to cross the world in the meantime. What's really cool about this game is how fluid it is. It feels like my character is water and running through this world, and in a good way. The game sort of guides you as you are running, but not in a way that will limit you. Basically, as you run into objects, it'll just have you jump above or go around it so that you can keep the momentum and just get to your next objective. This aspect of automatic dodging can also be seen in the game's combat if you enable it. Speaking of combat, the combat's actually pretty good once you get it down. In the demo, you have 2 sets of spells that you can use, basically 2 different types. One of them is more fire-based and one of them is more earth or rock-based. And between these, you have different weapons to use for each trigger. One is more of like a light attack, and another one is more of a heavier attack, a support item. That's all cool, it makes sense, our character can use magic. What isn't good are the controls. Remember how I said earlier how the character feels so fluid, like pristine, clear water? Well, the controls are also fluid, like spoiled milk. Now, once you get used to it, it's fine, but at the same time, there are some really clunky aspects to the controls that could make one of the best parts of the game feel a bit unenjoyable at times. Majority of the time, though, the controls work fine. You get into combat, you leave, and you're back to running around again, enjoying the controls. But one thing you're going to notice while you're running around is how gorgeous this game looks, and it really does look good, except for one very small flaw that I'll get into later. This game does look really, really good. It's even more prevalent when you're running around, and everything's just a blur as you're going so fast. It's really impressive that this game has so much foliage and is able to run on PS5 at 120 frames per second, and yes, 120 frames per second, and it looks like this. And if you go on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, they have ray tracing at 30 FPS, but it seems that the ray tracing is only for shadows and not reflections, as I was unable to see anything being reflected in the lake. I did say I had a few issues with the graphics, and I'll get into that right now. First off, the character models seem a bit funky. I don't know why, but during my gameplay they felt a bit plasticky, they felt a bit toyish. I mean, look for yourself. Now, luckily, this doesn't bleed into the actual enemies of the game, and the monsters actually look really, really good, along with their animations and along with your animations. They all look really good. The only other issue is that in some places, the game can feel like an Unreal Engine 5 asset flip. This is when you take assets that are public and kind of just put them into your own game. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, and I don't think they entirely did that here, but that's just how generic this game looks. It looks good, it looks great, but it doesn't have that distinct oomph to it that makes it look special. Overall, though, I can't say I'm upset with the graphics of this game. They look really good, and if the game released in this state with its current graphics, I wouldn't be upset. Now, the gameplay you're seeing is a mixture of performance, ray tracing, and quality mode, but you won't be able to tell the difference because my capture card is unable to record at 60 FPS and will be sticking to 30. Just trust me when I say 60 FPS is incredibly solid. Same thing with the quality mode. Ray tracing does have some dips, but as expected, it has a lot more graphical features such as ray tracing. Overall, the console's performance is really good on this game, but the voice actors' performances are not that good. Yes, we are finally getting to the audio in this game. The music and sound effects are perfectly fine to really good. It's the dialogue that is just terrible. Your character and the rings are going to be constantly bantering, and I mean for the whole game. They will be basically arguing with each other while you fight. They will be saying very annoying voice lines like this.
I'd say now's the time to strike.
No shit.
And like this.
I think it might be time for some extreme evasive maneuvers.
No shit.
And this goes on a lot, and they repeat a lot. It is just endless. Luckily, Square Enix has this covered, where there's a range of options for you to choose for the amount of dialogue being spoken while in combat or while out of combat. You will always have the same amount of dialogue for story though. That makes sense, it's the story. You need to have that dialogue. If just a few of these things were improved, like the controls of the combat, then I do seriously think that this game could be pretty good. The demo has only confirmed my past belief that I was gonna wait for a sale to get this game, but now I know for sure that this is a game actually worth spending my time on, as the game is just so much fun and enjoyable. For those of you who have made it to the end, I want to thank you for watching the video, and if you guys liked it, please like and subscribe for more content just like this. And until the next video, peace out.